I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about feeling hopeless in no contact.
Something that's really common.
Yeah, no contact is not easy because everything inside of you instinctually tells you to reach out, reconnect with your ex, try and tell him that you're going to change or that you're different or that you see things differently now and that you really believe it's going to turn breakups around. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And that's why breakups can be extra challenging because we often have to do the opposite of what we want to do.
Right. And then we can kind of feel like, well, what's the point of doing this if you're not hearing from them and it's not working right away?
Yes. No contact does take time. Your ex has to go through a process. They have to think about things, why it didn't work, what they were unhappy about, and they have to reconsider a lot before they reach out and come back. Now, sometimes they come back sooner, but in my experience, most of the time they need more time than what feels comfortable for you.
Right. And our anxiety is hoping for a quick fix. You know, we're separated from the person that we love and care about and feel familiar with and comfortable with. And so we can't, wait for the moment to where we are reconnected with them. And our anxiety can really drive that feeling. I notice that sometimes people will think of the worst case scenario to kind of prepare themselves for not hearing from them forever. Yeah. You can kind of think, well, if I prepare for the worst, that I'll never hear from them, then I won't get disappointed when I don't. And it can feel a little bit concrete for somebody. And while for some people, this kind of mentality can be helpful, I won't say it's never helpful, but this type of black and white thinking can be part of a depressive spiral, and it can also decrease a lot of motivation.
Absolutely. And my advice to you is have the mindset that you're going to have one more opportunity. What would you do in no contact if you only got one more chance with your ex? Mm-hmm. If you have that mindset, it's going to keep you a lot more motivated to grow and focus on personal growth than if you believe they're not coming back. Your motivation level to change and to grow and to heal your attachment issues is going to drop significantly simply on your belief about the situation. But you have to understand that we have been doing this for years. Mm-hmm. We know how breakups go, and we see them happen in patterns all the time. You, on the other hand, that's talking to your mother about your breakup, or your cousin, or your therapist who handles 2 breakups a year, mm-hmm. is giving you strategies that are ineffective and are a lot more likely to mess things up and make their attraction level go down.
Right. Right. And hope is something that can be incredibly powerful. The truth is that we don't know for certain that your ex isn't coming back. And I know I talk with many of you who are 100% convinced that
Yes.
that's the case. And that type of thinking isn't always helpful. I can see why somebody would go down that route because it feels like, okay, at least I have an answer. At least there's a direction. It feels a lot less anxiety producing when you know that there can be any outcome or there's a lot of uncertainty with it. So.
The beauty in what we teach, and we've said from the beginning, is that you want to heal your attachment issues in no contact. And that is the most powerful thing that you can do to reattract your ex. But if they don't come back, all of the information, all the changes in the growth that you've made is going to show up for you in all your other relationships. Mm-hmm. So that's what I love about what we do here is that we're not just keeping you focused on your ex. We're trying to get you to focus on growing making yourself the priority, if you really listen to what we say, when you do that, that is actually going to give you your best chance with your ex. And the beliefs that you have are going to have a massive impact on how motivated you are to grow.
Right. And for us, it's really about the mindset shifts. The mindset shifts from my ex is never coming back, it doesn't matter, move on, live your life, to there's a possibility that they could. And what would that look like? And am I prepared for that? And if you are going to be prepared for your ex coming back, you will already be in a position where you're better prepared for any relationship, is the point we're trying to get at. And part of the mindset shift is also thinking, well, maybe my ex wouldn't have reconsidered this relationship a week after the breakup, right? Things are fresh. Maybe they're still upset about whatever it might be or the reasons that caused the breakup in the first place. But it's about building up that confidence to where you can say they sure as hell will reconsider it now. Getting to that place within yourself and within your own life to where you can confidently say, I have improved my ability to be a better partner for somebody else. And, the outcome of whether or not your ex does reach out, the two of you are able to repair that relationship, sure, that would be great. That's the reason why many of you are watching this video. But more importantly what are the skills that you really keep with you lifelong? That's really what we're concerned with.
Yeah, because ultimately the only relationship you can be sure of in this life is the one that you have with yourself. You're going to have some people that come and go in your life for a lot of different reasons. And you are going to have a relationship with yourself, and how you show up with other people and how you handle those attachment issues, they're going to be correlated. So if you heal your own issues, it's going to improve your relationships with all the other people in your life, not even just your, partners, but your friends and your family, because you're going to understand them so much better and their needs better.
Right. And we know that feeling of being hopeless in no contact can be really overbearing, because you kind of think, well, what's the point of this? And it can be paired with other depressive thoughts like I'm never going to find love again, or my one chance at happiness is gone, or I'll never feel connected to somebody again. Sometimes it can kind of be part of that depressive spiral that I'm talking about.
Yep.
But there's things that we can do to manage some of this feeling of hopelessness. Sometimes we do have to just feel it and say, this is how I'm feeling in the moment. This is part of the situation. And my feelings right now don't necessarily reflect reality, or don't have to. If you're starting to think my ex is never going to come back and I feel certainty with it because I'm feeling so intensely with this breakup, we can say, I recognize this feeling. There's a lot of uncertainty and unpredictability in life. We can have control over our environment to some degree, which environments we choose to put ourselves in. And so if we are putting ourselves in hopeless situations, if we're isolating ourselves from others, if we're surrounding ourselves with other really pessimistic people, very avoidant people, this can be something that kind of keeps us down and keeps us from seeing the other possibilities and opportunities out there. But if we're putting ourselves in environments that are more social, that are more positive, that do open our mind, then that's going to impact our mood too. So it's all connected.
And one of those environments is being online.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see a lot of angry, hurt people in the comment sections. And a lot of times the ones that are the most vocal are the ones that really need the most therapy, that need to process their hurt and their anger. So you got to be careful. And please consider the coaches and the people that you're getting the information from. How do you think they're showing up with other people in their life? And those are the people that are guiding you. Are those people that you want to help you along your journey with trying to repair a relationship? Or are they going to keep you angry and stuck on blaming, and it's the opposite sex's fault? And there's so much of that online.
Yeah.
So be careful about who you're getting your information from.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of slander even on attachment styles lately too.
It's unbelievable.
So just be aware of what you're surrounding yourself with, what messages you're allowing into your life, and think about what your goal really is with no contact. A lot of times we can lose our purpose, we can lose our direction when we are starting to feel hopeless, like there's no point, no meaning. Reconnect with your goals here. Something that's important.
Exes come back all the time. No contact does make your ex miss you. However, you've got to process the breakup in no contact. You have to be looking at why the relationship didn't work. Why did your ex leave you? Okay, why did they end it? What did you do to contribute to that? You know, there's thousands of questions you could be asking yourself and growing. And like, that's why we have the creative healing course or the workbooks where you're sitting there really reflecting on your situation and what you can do differently to make your ex more likely to trust you again or give the relationship another chance.
Right. And in this moment, you might be feeling hopeless, but even that feeling can change and morph over time. So just be open to that. You might not always feel like this, right? And there might be a moment where you're like, dang it, I wish I wasn't feeling so hopeless before because I would have put in more effort in this area or that area. And that's what we want to prevent.
And one of the things that we see a lot is you are completely convinced your ex is never going to come back. You give up on the personal growth. You go back to your old behaviors, and then magically your ex reaches out, and all of a sudden you think, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. I could have been preparing for this. I didn't do the work. And now you make a mess of the situation because your anxiety gets the best of you.
Yeah.
So if you listen to what we're saying very carefully and you stick to what we tell you to do, you're going to be a lot more likely to be prepared for that moment, because so many times you are convinced your ex will never reach out to you again. And then, bam, 6 months later, they want to see you.
Yeah.
Right? Happens all the time.
And as far as we're concerned, it's a win-win if you are working towards that personal development and also working through the feelings of the breakup itself and healing through that. You know, so I know sometimes that black and white thinking, it can make us have this kind of illusion of control or illusion of feeling like we know everything, but becoming more uncomfortable with that uncertainty can be something that's helpful longer term, because ultimately we grow that confidence to say, no matter what the outcome, I know that I'll be in that headspace to be able to handle it. So that's what we're hoping.
One last thing. We want you to have an opportunity with your ex. Now, of course, we don't want you to be with somebody who's abusing you or something like that.
Right.
But we want you guys to at least have the opportunity to turn things around. So we're always going to give you the strategies that we see that are most effective. No contact is extremely effective, but in the way that we teach it, no reaching out. That's our view of no contact, no reaching out. If your ex reaches out to you, we don't want you to ignore them if you want to repair things.
Right. That's a good clarification.
So, yeah, we got to always say that, because sometimes people are new to the channel and they'll ignore their ex when they reach out.
Right.
And then, well, how come they didn't contact me again? Because you ignored them when they did.
Yeah.
So think about it. If you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.